Humans will be on this Halo ring. See? Confirm! But seriously, there is actually a considerable amount of evidence suggesting that ancient humanity and their history is going to be a big thing in this next Halo game. I'm gonna tell you exactly why and provide all the things that I see as strong evidence. Guys, it's gonna be a great one. Stay tuned. This video is supported by Audible. Don't miss out on their offer for all Halo followers, that means you, for a free audiobook. All you gotta do is click the link down below and start listening. So today I have some very strong evidence suggesting that ancient humanity will be present in Halo Infinite, or at least very abundant in their ruins. We're gonna go down the list of all the things that I have suggesting this, but first, a quick recap about ancient humanity's history in Halo lore, because it sort of ties in with everything else we're gonna get into. About 100,000 years ago, the Foreigners came into conflict with the Flood, as well as ancient humanity, who, like the Foreigners at that time, were extremely advanced in all technological fields. Humanity lost the war and were subjected to biological de-evolution by the Foreigners, or as I like to call it, they were thrown into the Stone Age. These tribal humans lived mostly peacefully on different Foreigner installations throughout the galaxy, but most notably Zeta Halo, and that's super relevant because that is the ring confirmed to be in Halo Infinite. However, on Zeta Halo, the Foreigners began visiting these tribespeople and started abducting them for Flood cure experiments, because at this time that's what they were looking for. Some of these innocent humans never returned, but the ones that did would refer to the terrorizing place as the Palace of Pain, which wasn't actually just one place, but multiple Flood research facilities on the Foreigner installation. Now, these kidnappings understandably were terrifying, but didn't break these small societies until eventually, as time went on, so many people were taken and abducted, the people just became numbed with fear and abandoned the cities, escaping into the wilderness. So now let's get into the evidence suggesting that ancient humanity will actually be in Halo Infinite, or at least their ruins being a big part of the exploration in this game. And the very first evidence I have here is in the Halo Infinite trailer, and it's actually in a couple different parts in this trailer. The first is the text engraved into the stone cave wall, which a lot of us had our eyes on and wanted to know what it said. It actually was translated by the community as enemy within. Although not completely confirmed, it's very likely it says that. And of course, we also have the ring-like structures that have been decaying for quite some time. These are likely monuments to the place they lived on, the Halo Array. Now, as for the text, this is certainly the work of an ancient human, as the Foreigners were the ones that were very advanced here, not writing on stone walls. Plus, it was also referring to probably either the Flood or the Foreigners that were kidnapping them for the Flood experiments. And this may actually be what somebody wrote after the so-called the people retreated from the cities after the mass abductions. Also, in the opening shot of the demo, though it's mostly hard to see, there are ruins inside a cave structure, and I think those are human structures because they look like they're made out of some kind of clay or rock, and they decay and they have a texture and pattern that just does not look anything like anything Foreigner we've ever seen before. So the fact that this Halo game, Halo Infinite, in its announcement trailer had multiple shots in it consisting of ancient human structures, I think that's extremely relevant here. So I decided to classify this next piece of evidence, even though it's still a part of the original trailer, as another piece of evidence because it's just such a strong piece. During 343's Making of trailer stream a few weeks back in December 2018, we got a ton new screenshots and concepts from that, and they're all so interesting, but one of these concepts really stood out to me because it so much more clearly showed the human structure built into the large rock foundation here, and it showed a couple extra details. This was actually in the E3 announcement trailer originally as well, however had to be modified with curves to actually see it. Some say that this is a Foreigner structure, which I strongly disagree with, and here's why. Firstly, there is a very destroyed ring artifact right in front of it, but also the texture of this looks like it's built out of rock and stone, not a shiny metal that of a Foreigner design. But also the texture of this looks like it was built out of rock and stone, and not the shiny metal that most Foreigner designs consist of. Even though it's dark in this shot, it still doesn't make sense as the color would still be offset from most of the Foreigner's palette of colors. Also, the inward bevels are so rectangular and sharp and have no slope transition to them, that is certainly a giveaway in my opinion. Also, the top left of the entrance has an expanded part built onto it, which is also a tall tale sign that this is human, because the other side does not, and Foreigners love symmetry. The right side may actually be a part of the destroyed ruins, but again, Foreigner stuff doesn't really decay like this. And if that's not enough proof, look at the ruins of stone and bricks to the left that have fallen off or decayed. Now, why is it important to recognize that this also may be a human structure here? It means that 343 Industries has at one point planned for us to visit and explore inside ancient human structures, and it's already very likely that we're going to be rewarded for exploration, and why not? It would make so much sense for us to be able to explore not only ancient Foreigner structures, but also old human structures as well. Next, we have more evidence, and this blew me away when I first saw it. This is Halo Infinite concept art that, for whatever reason, was not in the final trailer at E3, but still probably used for the final game. I mean, it makes sense that they would want to show off some of these really amazing structures here, but perhaps they thought it was too much of a giveaway. Now, I think they have this somewhere in development, that they have these models that they have finished a part of the game that looks something, based off or inspired from this image here. I mean, I think it's in the game somewhere, somehow, right? But anyway, we see a warthog is speeding towards a massive complex of these pyramid structures, and with this sketch, it's really hard to define these structures as human, Foreigner, or something maybe entirely different. But I am leaning human because Foreigner structures aren't this pyramid-ish. Again, it's a very basic sketch, but these actually look like Mayan temples, and they look massive. Now the left one looks at least 2 football fields wide and has a massive opening, along with a large pathway and 2 elbows. Now we have some pillars in the background, but honestly they could be either because it's just so hard to tell from here. But on the other hand, this could easily be the Palace of Pain, which is equally exciting because we're going to learn about the history of the ancient humans that were taken from the Foreigners, the Flood Cure, and hell, maybe that might have something to do with the Flood plot if they do return in Halo 6. In addition, we also have a concept of a key ship here, as well as more writing resembling the ancient human language. And our last piece of evidence isn't so direct, but I think that Halo Infinite will pay off what Halo 4 set up. Now, if you guys remember, the whole theme of Halo 4 was about humanity and its ties to the Foreigners, hence ancient humanity and our role with the galaxy. Master Chief has already had to face his humanity, a part of being a machine, and now that Cortana is in control of the mantle, it makes sense that we go directly to the source of that material that has inspired 343's Halo games up to this point, and that would be humanity and its ties with the Foreigners, right? I think it would make a lot of sense to build upon that plot point, since it has so much ties with the Mantle lore, and it just makes sense. But also builds upon everything shown in Halo 4 and 5, and there's not many things that could do that. There is a lot of details, history, and lore that 343 could feed us through solving and deciphering and discovering ancient human temples, cities, and whatnot. So Ron, we got it. There is a considerable amount of evidence about ancient human structures and ruins being present, but is it even possible that any ancient humans may still be alive on this ring? Well, it's really hard to say because there isn't any direct evidence showing that there are humans alive here. Hell, even all the structures we looked at are ruins from thousands and thousands of years ago. Now, in the lore, the installation was heavily damaged from the Foreigner Flood War, where a capital ship fleet ran by Mendicant Bias fired upon Installation 07, then followed many ships from the space battle that would eventually crash here on the ring. Now, most of the surviving species here, including humans, were saved by the life workers and relocated to the Ark, so if there are tribal humans still alive from Zeta Halo, they might be on the Ark now, right? If they're still alive there. Although it's not entirely impossible ancient humans could have survived maybe deep inside the caves or even the installation itself here on the ring, but considering its war damage and also the problem with the I don't know, the whole food and drinking fresh water for 100-something thousand years. It's just very unlikely, considering the ring's surface was damaged, considering it was looking like Venus at one point. But I imagine it would have been pretty hard to survive. The thing that makes it likely is that we're just missing a lot of details in this area. I won't say it's impossible for humans to still be here alive, just unlikely. I mean, hell, there might be some in cryo or frozen from that time period. But I really do think 343 would be missing one hell of a storytelling opportunity here if we never get to encounter a tribe or an ancient human, or even one that has taken advantage of the Halo Ray and its unguarded installation, right? Besides, I really doubt 343 put all these subtle clues in for no reason, and I think that we're gonna learn a lot more about the ancient humans and their history, and although it's unlikely we're gonna meet a person alive, you know, from that tribe, or, you know, an ancestor from that tribe, I think that we're going to learn a lot about them in this game, and I think that's going to be a pillar of the plot. From the concepts, the Easter eggs, and in-your-face objects all over that we keep seeing over and over, there's got to be something here alluding to the plot and story in a big way involving ancient humanity and their ties with, well, everything that's happening right now. By the way, don't miss out on Audible's epic offer. Get a free Halo audiobook right now. Choose one of millions of books. Link down in the description. So do you think ancient humans are still alive on Zeta Halo? Maybe ancestors from those tribes somehow made it through all of this time somehow. Or maybe they're frozen or in cryo. Do you have any theories or speculation about that? Why or why not do you think they're alive, guys? Let me know down in the comments below. I really want to hear your theories and thoughts about everything we discussed here today. Do you think it's possible? And do you think they're going to play a big role in this game? Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.